I'm not a scientist, I'm not one of those podcasters that thinks they're a scientist. So I don't know if that's true, if you could take birth control to fix your hormones to then have a baby, but it seems a little ass backwards. What is up, everybody? Here to talk about today's episode of Beyond the Gates, a Friday episode, November 14, 2025. And I hate to say it, but it was kind of, to me, another filler Friday from Beyond the Gates. Although I will say, I've enjoyed this week a little more than last week. I was kind of down on the show last week. I think it's because I've lowered my expectations for this month with it being November sweeps. I was definitely hoping for more. I don't think we're going to get more. We might get a entertaining Winterfest whenever that is, but that's probably not going to be until the end of the month at the earliest, if not December, because I know this show's going to have another week where it has preemptions because of how many episodes are left. Anyway, today's episode was fine. I mean, I was entertained with some of it. I did enjoy Leslie today. I did. She interrupted Anita and Laura planning for Winterfest because, of course, nobody on this show locks their doors. Everyone just comes into houses willy-nilly, so that's what Leslie did to interrupt them. Leslie was also doing a lot of stuff to kind of intimidate Laura today. We all know that in the past, Leslie tried to kill Laura a couple times. And I know the people that are upset that Leslie hasn't paid for any crimes yet probably didn't enjoy Leslie today, but she was cracking me up with her intimidating Laura. Today was the Leslie that I like, which is pretty campy and a little over the top, but it is the villain in Leslie that I do enjoy watching. I liked her scenes with both Laura and Anita. I really do like the kind of little rivalry chemistry with Anita and Leslie. They both do make me laugh in their scenes together. But today, Leslie just wanted to be a part of Winterfest. Anita tried to talk her into just being a sponsor during Winterfest. She would even get a star by her name in the program, but Leslie still wants more. And later on in the episode, after Leslie left and told Laura boo on the way out to scare her when she wasn't expecting it, Nicole came over and Anita and Nicole talked about Winterfest. Before that, Anita did try and console Laura about what they all suspect Leslie did to her, but there's just no proof, which is why Laura doesn't want to go to the police. Clearly, nothing ever happened with that investigation or will be happening with that investigation, although I do expect Leslie to still pay for those crimes in some way because they are keeping Laura around. So it's to keep it fresh in our minds that she did do something to Laura at some point. So I do believe there's going to be some sort of blowback to Leslie for that at some point. But right now, the Duprees continue to kind of give in to Leslie. Nicole's big idea is that Anita should let Leslie be a part of Winterfest because if they don't, she's just going to make a bigger scene and a bigger deal out of it, which is not completely wrong. Nicole met with Vanessa today for some drinks. I was not pleased to see Vanessa. I did not miss her this week. Her and Joey, I'm probably putting Vanessa and Joey at the bottom of my list where storylines are concerned right now, especially if the Ashley, Derek, Andre love triangle is officially over, then the Vanessa and Joey storyline is my least favorite thing going. I mean, the Kat to Moss relationship is up there as well, but I can't stand Vanessa, so that's my problem there. Nicole and Vanessa talked about her kids and how she's still dealing with the aftermath of Doug's death, and that Donnell's calling every day to check on her, but that her daughter isn't doing very well, but she still wants her daughter to not come to town and stay out of her way. So Vanessa's still kind of being selfish there, possibly. When Vanessa left, Martin ended up running into Nicole. They stopped to chat for a little bit, And then Izaiah and Martin ran into each other. Izaiah continues to move around town and have these interactions with characters. They're still introducing Izaiah to the canvas. And we kind of learned in this conversation that apparently Izaiah was being embarrassing at Jacob and Naomi's wedding years ago. I don't know if he got into an argument with Jacob or with his father Elon, but apparently this was Isaiah's bad boy days and he's a changed man. That's the story they continue to go with. But Leslie ran into them. Leslie wants to have host a fundraiser for Martin's campaign, but this was more so Izaiah could overhear Leslie talking about Eva, and Leslie could meet Izaiah for the first time and learn more about him and the new man her daughter is interested in, which probably doesn't bode well for Eva because, as we discussed yesterday, Eva is too obsessed with her mom, and her mom's kind of obsessed with Eva's relationship, so probably won't end well for Eva and Izaiah in some capacity. But it was after that conversation or during that conversation where Anita called Leslie to invite her to be a part of Winterfest. So one of the stories going into Winterfest is that Leslie and Anita will be working together on Winterfest, which it is to pay tribute to her mom, Barbara. So there is a reason for that. As for Vanessa, she of course had to go see Joey, and before that, Joey was being nosy with Randy again. He's really trying to get to the bottom of the Randy and Hayley relationship and what they're actually up to, if they're really an affair. This is why I didn't like Randy's unnecessary extra lie the last time they had our conversation, where he went back on saying he and Hayley are having an affair. It was stupid of Hayley to want him to change what he told Joey. Both Randy and Hayley don't work very well together as cousins trying to swindle people. I feel like they continue to make some pretty dumb mistakes, Randy more so than Hayley. It was always one of my hopes for the show that Randy could really evolve as a character and maybe even become a big bad himself, but the way they write him, I don't foresee that in his future. I think that's the way the show should go or should have went, because I think the actor is good, but doesn't seem to be where they're going. Anyway, after that, of course, Vanessa came to the casino. We did have a moment where Vanessa ran into some guy she knows that she's sold property to before named Steve, and realizes he's getting an advance from the casino to gamble more money. Clearly, Vanessa saw Doug in this guy and talked him out of betting tonight. And I think just wanting him to not go down the same road Doug went down. Joey, of course, didn't like this when he found out what was going on, because he doesn't want her to run his business into the ground. She's saying she wants to help run his business. Well, this isn't the way he's going to like it. Vanessa then goes on some diatribe about how Joey's a good man and he cares for he really cares for people, or he really helps people he cares for, because she saw the way he helped her son Donnell or whatever. I don't know what to make of this Vanessa and Joey stuff. At the end of the episode, Joey kind of admits he's addicted to Vanessa, even slipped out the love word. And even though Joey tried to play off saying the love word, Vanessa definitely caught into it and then had some sly smile towards the camera when Joey was walking away. This could mean many different things. Maybe Vanessa is really falling for Joey the same way Joey might be falling for her, and that's what makes her happy. Maybe this was the show trying to allude to us that Vanessa does have a plan to take down Joey. That's what a lot of the suspicion has been, and it still could be possible, but I'm not invested. And if that is where the show is going, where Vanessa is just having some big plan to take down Joey, the only way that story is going to work for me is if Doug is still alive. At the end of the day, now that he's dead, I realize that he's the only character I really cared for in this little story. And I've seen some people online say that this story has been plotted out so well, and I just disagree. I feel like before Doug's death, it was definitely one of the better plotted out stories. Since then, I don't really see the rhyme or reason in it. Maybe the show is trying to keep us in the dark that Vanessa knows that Joey killed Doug or tried to kill Doug, and Doug really is still alive, which is what I'm hoping. But I don't know. We'll see. But when they're on, they're the new Derek and Ashley for me. I kind of groan when I see Vanessa's in an episode. The other stuff that went on today, the other people that make me groan, Naomi and Jacob. I still don't understand why Naomi and Jacob have been getting so much screen time lately. For two characters that are either boring or kind of annoying, it's been a lot of airtime the past couple months for me. They can use some backburning for a while because their stories are not interesting, and they continue to write Naomi as more and more of a hypocrite. But they had dinner with Bill and Hayley, which of course Naomi brings up the fact that Danny and Andre turned their business trip into a honeymoon, which Bill didn't love to hear at first, and Hayley didn't love that that was brought up. So they kind of bickered, Naomi and Hayley did. But then Naomi and Jacob were also bickering because Naomi keeps taking jabs at Jacob for keeping her and Ashley in the dark with the fact that Derek was having feeling back in his legs. The only thing that really interested me in these scenes was Jacob learning that Hayley knows Izaiah. I don't know if she was just alluding to the fact that they knew each other from the other day or if they actually know each other from the past, but that's something that could be interesting to look for. Another thing that happened during these scenes was Bill and Hayley were showing Naomi and Jacob the property that Bill is buying for Hayley on Hayley's phone, but while Naomi and Jacob were looking at the phone, Hayley got a text. Detective Jacob didn't pay enough attention to what the text was, but Naomi did, and she saw that it was a prescription for birth control. So here is Hayley going on and on about how she wants to have Bill's children, but she's really on birth control. Now, later in the episode, Hayley got ahead of this and told Bill that she's on birth control, and she's saying it's to fix her hormones and that she has to fix her hormones first before they can try and have a baby again. I'm not a scientist, I'm not one of those podcasters that thinks they're a scientist, so I don't know if that's true, if you could take birth control to fix your hormones to then have a baby, but it seems a little ass backwards. But Bill went with it, and Hayley will continue to poison him, and I'm just wondering at what point will Bill start to feel the effects of all this poison. Like, I know it's supposed to be a slow poisoning, but I'm ready for him to start feeling the effects. As for Jacob and Naomi, though, they then got into it again when Naomi was not going to get involved with what she saw in the text. And while Naomi was kind of right that Hayley was just going to get ahead of this anyway, Naomi goes so hard for Ashley, who doesn't deserve it, but can't even go hard for her own father. And then in this conversation, or really this whole episode, continuing to jab at Jacob for not being transparent about the Derek situation and throwing it in Jacob's face when Jacob wants Naomi to be transparent with her father and Hayley's relationship. Naomi's mad that Jacob's keeping secrets or kept that Derek secret when she knows some of Hayley's secrets and isn't telling anybody. She knows from Ashley that Hayley really didn't get her, I don't remember what it was, but she really didn't get something at the hospital that one time. And now she's saying that Hayley is on birth control. Naomi should be able to think back to the miscarriage too and wonder if that was shady. Like, she knew at the time that Hayley's miscarriage was shady because of the timing, but she's not bringing up any of this information to anyone, but at the same time she's mad at Jacob for keeping a secret about Derek. Get it together. I don't know what the writing for Naomi is lately, and Jacob either. They've really gone from a boring couple to just a super irritating couple. Anyway, speaking of irritating, I think next week's going to irritate me because I'm going to have to deal with Pick Me Cat again. And the preview in general, it looks like more of the same with Hayley poisoning Bill, although Naomi might walk in on something. But unless Naomi starts talking, nothing's going to happen there. So I'm hoping next week is better than it looked in the preview, but I'm having to really lower my expectations with Beyond the Gates lately.